If you don't put your growth and development first, no one else will. And as a woman leading in a nonprofit, you need to continue to grow and develop. In this podcast, I'm going to give you 3 quick strategies to make sure that you are putting growth and development as a priority on your to-do list, not the only priority, but as a priority on your to-do list so that you can continue to grow, thrive, and make the incredible difference that you know you want to do. Welcome to the Surviving to Thriving podcast that helps women leaders in nonprofits get out of survival mode and thrive in both leadership and life. I'm your host, leadership development coach Kathy Archer, and I help women leaders enjoy impactful leadership. As we slide into September, what happens for most of us is we get this different kind of September feel. Everything is re-engaging. We've had summer to kind of relax and figure things out. This year, COVID summer was different, but still, as we move into September, we're all thinking about, here we go, we're starting this group again, and this is happening here, and this project over here is on a go, and how are we going to get this happening? And we get this September brain that basically fills our calendars, and all of a sudden we blink and we're into December. And I want you to pause before that happens too deeply. And I want you to ponder and think about and reflect on how you're growing. This has been an incredible couple of years. And my guess as a leader is that it's challenged you in ways you never imagined possible. And it's either pulled out the best in you in some situations or the worst in you in others. And what is also true is that you want to continue to grow and develop, but you rarely find the time. You rarely have the ability to focus on that. Therefore, you need to create a plan, my dear, to grow and develop. And how are you going to make growth and development first? So I'm going to give you the strategy for developing that plan. The first thing that we need to do is take some time to really think about things. We need to pause. We need to stop. You hear me talk about the inner guidance cycle. We need to tune in by going pause and ponder so that we can pivot and create that strategy that you want going forward. Now, when we think about growth and development, I'm not talking about courses. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's often the first place we go is, what course can I take this fall? What training do I need to engage in? What books should I read? And that's an important part, but you've missed the first part of why that's important and what book and course you're going to take. And so what I want you to do is stop and think about who you are as a leader and how you want to grow and develop that authentic part of you in your leadership role. My students in the training library have access to your quarterly plan. So you get to go through, and as well as your annual analysis, which is an incredibly deep dive into what's been going, not deep, but valid, I guess I should say, dive into what's been going on and how you've been growing. Both of those tools, if you're in the training library, I would definitely encourage you to pull those out. Now is a great time to get an assessment of, where am I? What are the strengths I have? What are the areas I need to shore up? Where do I want to grow and develop? What are my interests, my things that I want to, keep on my horizon? So the first step is to really slow down, pause, and really create that strategy for what you want to do going forward. And the first step of that, pause, we want to look at, what area do I need to grow? Now, not next podcast, because next podcast I have Cindy Wegman on talking about reluctant fundraising. But after that, I'm going to go into a few episodes where I'm talking about the basic core fundamental competencies and ways of leading that lead to that high fulfillment and high impactful leadership. And so let me just give you an example of one of them. One of them is authenticity. How are you showing up fully as a leader? Another is thinking strategically. Are you thinking strategically? Another part of that is, are you able to make decisive decisions? So it's not like I need training in Excel, or I need training in brain injury, or I need to figure out, XYZ because that's what our program's doing. No, it's how are you needing to grow as a leader? If you are avoiding conflict and you are a people pleaser, that points you in a direction of what area you need to grow in. If you want to more courageously engage in those difficult conversations, you have some work to do to courageously engage in those difficult conversations. And that's what I want you to think about. What are the competencies? What are the core traits that I want to grow as a leader? So what is that first part? What area of my growth and development do I need to learn? The second part is how. How am I going to get that information? How am I going to grow that skill? So part of it is get the information, but then how will I practice it? Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need a place where you can practice the skill live with different people. Maybe you need a book. But how am I going to get that information and practice that skill and build on that skill? So what's the skill? And then how am I going to get that information? So you need to write this out in a plan. These are the core areas that I'm working on from now till the end of the year, or the one core area that I'm working on. Maybe you want to be more confident speaker. Maybe you want to make better, more decisive decisions. Perhaps you want to figure out how to do performance appraisals in a way that feels genuine to you. I don't know, but you do if you sit down and do some thinking, that ponder stage. Pause, ponder. What do I want to learn? What area do I want to grow, and how am I going to learn that? So again, write this out as a plan. This is like your fall curriculum. How are you going to learn and grow? And you get to develop it. There's a course in the training library as well, all around creating your leadership curriculum. I want you to think like you're developing your own curriculum for growing that skill or this series of skills. I'm going to take this course. I'm going to watch this TED Talk. I'm going to follow this person on YouTube. I'm going to listen to these 3 podcasts. I'm going to read this book. You can create a curriculum. There's tons of stuff out there. Maybe you want to take the free course in Coursera about emotional intelligence. That's something you can do. So that's the how part. How are you going to develop the skill? How are you going to take this area that you want to grow and develop in and build it and enhance it and feel good about it? So what, how, and you probably know the next one is when. When are you going to fit this in? When are you going to schedule this in as a priority, not an afterthought, not a hopeful, not a maybe if there's enough time, but as a priority into your week and then into your day? So what we often say is, I'm going to take this course. And then again, December comes and we've finished the first 2 lessons. That's not so helpful to help you grow and develop and feel more confident as a leader. We've talked about this as well. Confidence doesn't come from just like magically thinking you can do it. It starts with competence. You need the skill, competence, before you can practice that skill, have the courage to practice, to develop a level of confidence. And if you want to develop a skill, confidence in engaging in difficult conversations, you need to get the training first. You need to read the book. You need to engage in the course. You need to have the conversation with somebody who's going to give you the 5 tips. You need to listen to 5 podcasts, whatever it is that you know, because you've spent the time creating your own curriculum, that you need to do that. You need to actually do the work, the inner work of developing those skills and practicing them and figuring out how to apply them in your leadership. And so you know what you're going to do, you know how you're going to do it. You now need to schedule it in when you're going to do it. Again, if you just say, I'm going to do it between now and Christmas, it's not going to get done. If you say, I'm going to do it this month, it's not going to get done. If you say, I'm going to do it this week, chances are it's still not going to get done. But if you say, I'm going to do it Thursday afternoon at 3:00 for the next 4 Thursdays, there is a way better chance that you are going to get it done. When you schedule it in, then you create it as a priority. You indicate this is as important as that meeting with my staff, as the meeting with the funder, as the meeting with my board or my boss. And you say, yes, there are other things going on in my life that are priorities as well. And I need to look at my to-do list and all of those things going on. And growth and development, continual growth and development, personal and professional, both. It all fits together in leadership. When you show up as a leader, you show up as you. And that's what we need for you. That's how you lead with integrity, is when you walk your talk, you live your values, you act out who you are, not some fake person who puts on a persona or, puts up a shield and protects himself for the day. No, we want you, not the people often think this means oversharing. No. But if you are a person who deeply cares about, I said Cindy Wegman's on the podcast next week, social justice, then we want to hear you talk about social justice. If you care deeply about the environment, then we want to hear that. If it's your dog, then we want to hear that. What is it about you that makes you you? But also, if you're a deeply honest person, or you have a level of spirituality that's important to you, or you care deeply about being kind to other people, that's you, authentically you. When you hide those and shove those under the covers or pretend they're not there, we feel we're missing a part of you. And it actually creates a lack of trust. We're like, what are you hiding? What are you afraid we're going to find out about you? That you care? Like, that's horrible to hide that. But I can't tell you how many leaders shut off their emotions, push that all aside, stiff upper lip, deal with it, don't get emotional, and miss that component of who you really are. So, what's the skill that you're going to learn? How are you going to learn it? And when? Schedule it into your calendar. Make sure you know when you're watching that movie, when you're reading that book, when you're taking that course, when you're meeting up with your mentor. Schedule it in, make personal and professional development a priority, and you will start to feel more confident. If you need some help with this, check out kathyarcher.com/library. Lots of courses, lots of guide sheets, lots of worksheets that you can work through to help you figure out what the skills are, figure out how you're going to do that, and then help you schedule it in, because you have the accountability of a course where you work through lesson by lesson by lesson. And then again, stay tuned in the coming podcasts, because I'm going to talk about some of those competencies that you might want to think about and ask yourself, is that an area I need to grow and develop in? Maybe this one over here is an area I need to grow and develop in, and start to really think about how you can piece that all together between now and the end of December, because you don't want to get to the end of December and say, oh my God, another year where I just went round and round and never really felt like I grew or developed as a leader. Everything was kind of haphazard and I just put out fires all day. No, if you want to do meaningful work, you need to grow. You need to connect to what's important to you, what the skills are inside of you, and expand them and shine a light on them and be your best self as a leader. That's how you're going to make an incredible difference and move from surviving to thriving in both your leadership and your life. Go make the rest of your day awesome. If you found today's episode helpful, then you are going to love the training library. Many women leaders in nonprofits wish that they had a coach or a mentor to help them, but they don't believe that they or their organization can afford it. Oh, but you can. Inside of the Training Library membership site, you will not only get access to affordable and easily accessible ongoing personal and professional development training, you will also have access to a leadership coach at your fingertips. That way, when you hit those inevitable challenges that leadership will bring your way, you'll have both the resources and the support to navigate your way through them with confidence, composure, and while keeping your integrity intact. To find out more, head to kathyarcher.com/library. If you are enjoying the show, I'd love it if you could leave me a comment or a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks for listening. Go make the rest of your day awesome.